Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the Patreons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. And we are flying out the Gripen again to talk about future Gripens that can be added, guys. First things first, if you don't know, they already kind of confirmed that Gripens will come. More Gripens, you know, very soon, especially for Sweden. Let's talk about some, in specific, three options that we might see very soon into War Thunder to complete the Gripen lineup, and we will see a lot of them. The first one is a more common one, the JAS 39C for Sweden. Of course, the C variant was already added for the UK, for South Africa, right? And they confirmed that they are working on a C variant for Sweden. So what are the differences between the two? Well, in real life there isn't much to even talk about, so imagine in the game. The main things would be avionics upgrades and basically a preparation for the aircraft to be exported. That was the main idea behind the C and D variants, right? And what you need to know is that in game they can actually add some differences to it. Why? Because the C variant actually was added to the lineup of the Swedish Air Force much later, right? So what it means is that in theory it could actually carry more advanced missiles, and that's where I think the C will be. You know, I really think that in the game they will add the A, or they added the A as a more early Gripen with the AIM-9s. In the initial production models in 1993, 1994 of the Gripen didn't even have a proper BVR missile. They started maybe testing with the Skyflash. I don't know how far they went with the Skyflash, but in general they were choosing a BVR missile still, right? Which means that the RB99, which was chosen afterwards, was a little bit after, you know, and that can mean that maybe the A will receive an RB99, but maybe the C variant, when it's added to the Swedish Tech 3 in the future, we can have not only the RB99, or at least starting already with the RB99, but also having a 90ST missile, for example, or some form of other IR missile that it's more advanced than the 9M that we have, or maybe a more advanced, you know, radar missiles like the Meteor, or I don't know, something that the Swedish use, or even if it's just compatible, right? So I think that will be the main thing, an aircraft that will basically be the same in game but with different loadouts. That's pretty much what I think the C variant for Sweden will be like, right? The second one is a very interesting one, not that different as well, but still it is the JAS 39D variant, or even the B variant, but the D variant would be a little bit more fun, I think, because of the same reason of the C. The D variant was basically a mission conversion trainer kind of version of the single seat fighter, right? It is in the Swedish Air Force, if I'm not mistaken, more used for air-to-ground and all sorts of missions like that require more of an attention of a second person inside the cockpit. Doesn't mean that they don't do air-to-ground with the single seat, it's just that the D variant is also used with that, okay? So maybe they can add the D variant as more of a ground attacker or something like that. The main difference in game for the aircraft itself, of course, is the second seat. That would mean more weight, less fuel because of the second seat, and it doesn't have a gun, so it would be pretty much similar to something like the AJS 37, right? Can it carry a gun pod? Well, probably in theory it can. I don't know, like, I never saw anything about it, but Gaijin always finds some form of document or anything that can confirm that it might be able to do it, and then they just add it. So I don't know about the gun itself. You know, in general it is not there, but you know, if it's more of a ground attacker version, maybe more advanced air-to-ground missiles, maybe an anti-ship missile or something to be added to have a difference, for maybe an idea or a way for it to be just a little bit more competitive in the air to ground and be worth it to actually do the grind, right? So the D variant would be that. It would be a little bit different than the C variant, and yeah, I think before we see this, the E variants and F variants, which are way more modern than the A's and C's that we were talking about, and D's and stuff, we need to see a D variant. And the final one is kind of a boring one, but still the nation that it would get would be interesting. So the JAS-39C as well, but for Hungary or Italy. So in theory, guys, since they are adding the Hungarian tech tree, or the Hungarian subtree, if you will, for the Italian tech tree, we might see a JAS-39C with the skin that you are seeing from War Thunder Live. It is going to be basically the same as the South African one and the Swedish one that we might see in the future, but for Italy, which would make Italy one of the greatest nations for you to actually research. Why? Because if they add the Hungarian Gripen, they might as well just add the MiG-29 that they had, the MiG-23. They already have a very advanced F-16 that can receive AIM-120s later. The AV-8B Plus can have AIM-120s. They have a Tornado, then they would have the Gripen, and also they can receive the Eurofighter and the F-35 later. So you can see that it would be a very complete nation for you to research. Is it needed? Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they should wait for it to actually have the Eurofighter or something, but I gotta be honest, guys, if the UK received the Gripen, there's not much else that can be, you know, used as a reason for not, like, for why not, right? So I just think it would be very, very cool. Of course, initially they used the AIM-9M or AIM-9L, sorry, and eventually they used other missiles as well. Of course the AIM-120, of course later the IDST as well. So initially it can just receive the AIM-9L and then maybe a Sky Flash just for the sake of it, and when the AIM-120s are added, add the AIM-120 as well. And then afterwards, of course, have the IDST, for example, as a missile to be added when everybody starts to have the more advanced 2000s like IR missiles as well, right, in the far future. So it can have and be a very, very, very competitive aircraft right now and in the future, being kind of future-proof for Italy. So yeah, that would be very, very cool. And as I said, these are the three ones that I think are most likely to come. Of course, in the far future, the E and F variants could come to the Sweden, but you know, it's too far away. So when that time comes, I can do another video. What do you think about the 3 Gripens that can be added? Would you like to see them? Let me know in the comments, and I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys. See you.